Okay, there we are. We are live. Hello, everybody, and you are very welcome to this episode of Step Into Brave, where I talk about the fierce and the brave, about their personal experiences. And I'm delighted to be joined by Towanna Alexander, all the way from New York City. Thank you very much for agreeing to come on.
Thank you so much for having me, Tracy. This is awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh, delighted to have you. Anybody who's willing to come on to a show where they've absolutely no idea what they're going to be asked or what we're going to talk about, that is courage, let me tell you, right there.
That's bravery. That's the name of the show.
That's it, yes. So, for those of you that are just joining for the first time, really what this is about is unmasking all of the, I guess, the things that we tend to hide behind. But the reality of life is how, for so many, for all of us, we all struggle with insecurities, with self-doubt, with lack of confidence. And I think the more that we kind of open up about it and talk about it, and it's just normalize it, I guess that's the thing. It just becomes less of an issue. So that said, Towanna, tell me about confidence and what you see confidence as being.
Okay, so for me personally, confidence is something that comes from true self-awareness, right? I don't believe that confidence can be affected by outside factors, but I understand it to be for myself that if I am very sure of who I am, right? If I know the things that I'm capable of, and sometimes the things that I'm not capable of, I know for a fact these are the things that I can do, then these are the things that affects my confidence. These are the things that will determine my confidence level, whether it be high or low. For example, when I was starting out my business, I had no idea how I was going to do this. I did not have any of the answers, and I didn't feel confident, basically. Like, I didn't feel confident, like, just taking the leap. But the thing I had to like talk myself through was that I know I'm capable of one, learning. I know I'm capable of two, adapting. I know I'm capable of self-reflect. Like all of the things that are necessary for me to feel better about what I'm doing, I'm capable of actually like executing. So with that, more and more, you kind of like have to work on your confidence every day, because sometimes you get up in the morning and you're just like, today's not it. Like today's not the day.
Yeah.
But I think it comes from really knowing yourself. And I don't think that lack of knowing yourself would allow you to be as confident when you walk into a room or when you want to do something. And, like confidence is not perfection to me. Like it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be right. It just has to be that you know that you can do whatever is put before you, even if you have to make a few mistakes in order to get to a particular goal.
Yeah, I love that, and like you're right, it is self-awareness. And, one of the things that I am all about is being real and being authentic. And, if you don't know who you are, how can you be any of those things if you're not really connected on a deeper level with your ability and your intellect and your power and your wisdom and all of that great stuff that we've all got going on underneath? Then how can you know who you truly are?
Exactly.
And for you to want to, like, what is that kind of, because I know for a lot of people getting to know themselves is a struggle. So what has that process been like for you?
It has been so hard. I have always thought that I was pretty self-aware. I have always felt like, because I have only child syndrome. I'm not the only child, but I was the only child to grow up in the home. So I know myself very well. Like I know the things I like, I know what I'm willing to do and so forth. But as you get older, you evolve and you adapt and situations change. And every now and then you need to check in with yourself. And I think the more you want to explore the world and the more you want to do, and the more things you want to try, I think it becomes harder, right? To like actually do the self work, because as you get older, you get more stuck in your ways, but then there's still times where you do grow. Um, a couple of years ago, I started to like spend some more time with myself to like really figure me out, to make sure that who I am on the inside is who I'm reflecting on the outside, because sometimes that definitely affects your confidence, right? Because if you're lying to yourself, people can see, but you also present a certain persona when you step out into the world, and it makes you afraid to like step into certain rooms and certain situations when you're misaligned. And when I started to do that work, there was a lot of crying, there was a lot of hollering, there was a lot of I can't believe I was doing this, because it's self-work in itself is a very hard thing to do, right? It's not
Oh, yeah.
easy, it's ugly, right?
Yeah, it is, because like that, I've done an awful lot of slapping myself on the head in the last few years. Oh, seriously?
Right. Yeah.
Did you really do that?
Yeah.
And when you see that, initially it can be very, I suppose it hurts. It hurts because when we've been hurting ourselves, I think
Mhm.
that's really what a lot of it is.
Yeah, I agree. It's like holding up the mirror to your face and you're
Yeah.
looking at all your ugly parts when you're doing self-awareness. Um, it's hard, like I said, it's ugly, it hurts, it definitely hurts. It brings you to tears to know that this is how I was self-sabotaging. And
Mm.
those are the little things that affect our confidence. Like ignoring who we are definitely affects the way we approach things. It affects the way we view things. It affects how we think we can function within, like whatever, like a relationship or work or just like your day to day with your family. It affects the way you think. And sometimes we don't even know. Right? Like we don't know the things that are affecting the little things, the little microorganisms, the little nuances, the little pricks on the finger that are affecting
Mhm.
your bigger decisions until you start to do that work and you hold that mirror and you're just like, wait a minute, I'm my own problem. Like, I don't even believe in myself. And I'm expecting, like, when people apply for jobs, it's like, oh, I can't do this job, but let me apply for it anyway. No, you have to know you can do the job, or you can
Yeah.
at least learn to do the job. And you apply for the job because you know that, you're going to be good at this.
Mm.
Little things like that affect, we throw these things out into the universe. So we have to really be careful.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And I know one of the things that, for me has made, like you said, not every day you feel confident. Like last week, I was not having a week where I was like, oh yeah, I can do anything. I wasn't. I was having a week where I just was insecure and it was all on top of me. But what I've noticed is with me that's different now is I know that fundamentally I'm okay. I
Mhm.
know that there's nothing wrong with me. I know that I'm this perfect ball of energy, well-being at the core. So, I can fall to shit for a few days and it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
It's fine, and it's nearly like I can enjoy it more. Whereas I think when I was at the beginning of this kind of personal development, there was the fear that you'd slide back into, oh no, I'll go back to where I was. But, you know, we're okay. Like we are all okay underneath it all. But
Yeah.
when you're having moments of kind of insecurity, what keeps you feeling okay? What stops you from falling completely? Or how do you get back on track?
Um, One of the things that I am very cautious of is allowing myself to feel whatever it is that I need to feel. So when I'm going through my insecure moments, which happens pretty often, right? Women, you have your things like your hair one day, your weight another. Like it's always something. I allow myself to feel
Your droopy eye.
your droopy eye,
Sorry,
exactly.
we had a conversation before we came on about lazy eyes. You have to be there.
Absolutely. Like, yeah, you're getting dressed, you're just like, oh my gosh, my eye, like really right now? Or you get a pimple when you're about to go do something that, about to go to like a wedding or something. I allow myself to feel the feelings, but I have this system that I've implemented for myself now where when I'm in a good place, I I develop a plan for when I'm not in a good place. So I'll say to myself, okay, you can feel what you need to feel depending on the severity. You have a good hour. If you need to cry, please cry. Let yourself, like, let it go, let it. If you need to scream, if you need to shut the world, whatever you need to do, whatever your body is telling you or your mind is telling you, this is what I need right now, address it. Give yourself a time limit. So I give myself a time. If it's like a really bad situation, I'm gonna say, okay, you need like a day because you're falling apart. And the more you try to like hide or run from the feelings, the more they seem to attack me. So I just really try to just deal with them. And from there, I'm like, time limit, my time's up. I gotta boss up. I gotta get this together. I gotta do what I gotta do. I have to get ready for work, or I need to make this phone call, or I need to just go do something. Like whatever the thing is, I'm also good with taking rest. Like I'm okay with shutting the world out because sometimes the world, you can have a strong foundation for your confidence, but if you let the world in too much or too often, it'll chip away slowly at that foundation and then it starts to get shaky. So I'm good for, I need a week to myself and this phone is off, right? Like because if I don't reset, everything gets affected. The insecurities bump up, the self-sabotage bumps up, and everything just starts to really fall apart. And I know that about myself because one time I let myself go all the way. So I've seen how bad I can get. So I know where my limits are. So I know to set my limits like, okay, you got a good hour to cry, but I need you to get over it.
Yeah, I do. And I do think that is important that, you know, like we do live in very noisy worlds now where there is just a constant barrage of content being fired at us. And yeah, sometimes we just have to hide away and and I guess it's just about being present with yourself and just just the kind of stillness. And in the work that you're doing, Towanna, what do you see as, the biggest problem? It's women that you coach, isn't it? Like,
Correct.
what do you see? What is the biggest challenge that's being faced at the moment with your clients?
I think that a lot of women are just uncomfortable with themselves. I mean, we're taught from a young age, that your hair has to be a certain way. You have to look a certain way. You need to sound a certain way. You can't be too loud. You can't be too soft. You have to have this amount of education, or you need to weigh this much, or you need to be this tall, or you need to have kids by a certain age, or find a husband. And if you don't, you got to keep a man. All these things.
No, TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. I call it the hurry up and, go to school, hurry up and go to college, hurry up and meet somebody, hurry up and have kids, hurry up, get a job. It's just hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Yeah.
And by the time you turn around, because I have had conversations with several older women, they're having midlife crisis at like 45, 50, 50. I'm just like, but wait a minute. This is the prime of your life. Like, you still have a lot to offer the world. Like, why are you crashing? And a lot of the conversation comes from, I don't even know who I am. That's a lot of the conversation because they spend so much time trying to figure out and live up to the expectation of parents, of children, of husband, of society, because society weighs heavily on our shoulders.
Yeah.
People just have no idea. And it's like, where do you even start? Like, how do you even start to have that conversation? We just have to say, well, who am I? A lot of women who are divorced, they've been married since they were like, I don't know, 20s, early 20s. And they're getting divorced now in like mid 40s or so. They're just like, I was a child. I didn't figure me out. And I had kids when I was a child. So I had to be a parent, I had to be a mom, I had to be a wife. So now I'm out here, I don't know how to function in the real world with myself. And it's like a real challenge to like dig deep to get folks to like open up because they don't even know what they're opening up to. Because they have
So what, when you're working with these women, what would be your kind of guide point for helping them to reconnect with themselves? Or if you were to give people one starting point, one piece of advice, what would it be?
So if you had to create the ideal you, what would it look like? So if you had to create the perfect person in your eyes, let's start there. Let's see what your perfection looks like. And we kind of like start from there and chip away. Like, okay, this person is like, what we do is kind of like, once you've created that, we identify how different is this person from who you actually are. And sometimes you realize that you're actually not that different from your ideal person. You just don't know how to tap into your own resources that you have. Sometimes it's very different and we have to do a different kind of work because we now need to identify like, why is this your ideal person? And sometimes it brings out things like self-hate, a lot of self-sabotage, a lot of imposter syndrome, like a lot of it, like it brings up those kinds of issues, and people would have been feeling these things, like women would be feeling these things, but they would not know what it's called. They would not know that they're not the only one that, experiencing this.
Yeah. And it's funny, I think a lot of the time when we sort of sit down to kind of reconnect with what it is that's important, like when you really get down to the nitty-gritty, it's very simple things.
Yeah.
All of that other shit, the six packs and the this and the hair and it just kind of dissolves, because you start to realize that they're not the things that make you feel really good and really connected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've had a few women, they've cut their hair off. Like they're like, you know what? I don't really need
hello.
Yeah, like I don't really need this hair. And one of the other things is that once you start to feel good and you remove what society thinks, you start to attract a whole lot of people that are good for you and a whole lot of situations that are good for you. And you just start to look at life in a whole different way. You don't feel that burden anymore because now you're just really unapologetically you, and you can just show up in the world however you feel like showing up today.
Yeah, that is so true. So I guess just to kind of finish up then, Towanna, I'm going to put your contact details in the comments box. And so who do you help? So if you were to kind of do a call out to the women out there that are struggling, who can you help?
Okay, so primarily my clientele are Black women.
Mm-hmm.
I help women who are really just trying to figure out what's happening with me. Like, I don't feel like I'm I'm representing myself well. I don't feel like I know who I am. I've lost touch. I don't know what's missing. I don't know if I need to do something different. Like people who just really have questions about what the hell they're doing like every day. Like, I don't like my job, but I'm still, like these little things that we just ignore. Like, I'm not showing up well in my job. I'm not showing up well in my family. I don't think I still want to do these things that I'm doing, but I don't know how to like figure out the things that I actually do want to do. Like, it's really women who are just like, I just need a little bit of guidance. I need someone to like, and I ask them some really hard questions. Like, that's one of the things. Like, I'll dig deep and ask you some really hard questions. And I'm always prepared for someone to be angry or hurt or hang up on me. But like, I'm ready for it. Like, because once you address the hard questions, you start to get the answers. You have to tear away all that layer of pretense and imagination and lies that you've been telling yourself to really just get to like, okay, this is who I am. I've lost touch with myself, but I'm still here. I can just, like find myself again. So I help women to like, let's navigate that.
Basically, cut through the bullshit and all the stories and get to the real you.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I do too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love it.
And women find it easier to talk to like somebody who's not in their family, because I'm not judging you at all. I'm just helping you to be more of you, so more of you can show up for yourself on a daily basis.
Yeah, cool. I love it. Towanna, thank you so much for coming on and being my guest and stepping into Brave and opening up. And thank you for everybody who hopped on. And as I said, I'll have Towanna's contact details in the comment box. And if you are interested in any of this and you want to contact Towanna, please do so. Or if you want to contact myself, my online program is Be You Bravely. And it really is about, being more authentically you and getting to reconnect with yourself. So thank you, everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you all soon. Bye.
Thank you, Tracy. Thanks, everyone.